Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome back and thank you for being here. This week I want to talk about fragile masculinity, heteronormativity, and homohysteria. Basically, today I want to learn how to be a man, because I haven't quite figured that out. It seems like masculine discourse has a lot of expectations on what you need to do to be a real man, and I feel like I've never fit comfortably into that strict mold of masculinity. I wear a lot of cardigans, the consensus from everyone that I ever played sports with growing up is that I'm a massive pussy, and I think that the internet can help me redeem my man card, as the bros say. Now, the content I'm looking at this week comes from a variety of sources, but it all has to do with the theme of instructing men how to be men, and that's perfect because clearly I need help. This sort of content has always been in circulation, probably since the beginning of history. One of the best examples I found is this magazine from the 60s called Man's Life. Man's Life is all about being a man and doing things that men do, like saving a pretty girl from a gorilla, or saving a pretty girl from some snakes, or saving a pretty girl from giant crabs, or spiders, or lizards, or turtles, or snakes again, or monkeys, or occasionally getting murdered by some pretty girls. The true male fantasy. Now, these covers all have a few things in common, first among them being that they almost all feature a woman in a red shirt getting attacked by wildlife in such a way that the shirt is torn to reveal a lot of cleavage. You'd think these people would learn after the first time. Alright, that's done. We should probably leave for the airport in about half an hour. Are you packed? Yeah, I'm all packed. I'm ready to go. Seriously? What? You're wearing a red shirt in a tropical climate again? What, you don't like it? It's not that I don't like it. Obviously, you look hot. Thank you. But after the snake incident, and the gorilla incident, and the turtle incident, and the lizard incident, and the other snake incident, I just don't think it's a good idea. I'm noticing a pattern here. You can't tell me what to wear. Alright, well, if monkeys try to rip your face off for wearing it this time, I'm not helping. Fine. 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 There's also a common theme on Man's Life covers where they run at least one cover story about sexed up women ruining America with their wily ways. The winter resorts where bachelor girls run wild. Wild vacationing wives are ruining Palm Beach. Men-hungry women are lousing up business. Bashful brides have ruined the American male. That's right, folks, the American male was ruined in the 60s, and it's all women's fault. I like the Palm Beach one. I don't think anyone has ever been on vacation in a beach town and been like, this place sucks, there's too many women on the beach. What does lousing up business even mean? Ladies, you and your girls aren't really friends if you've never loused up a business together. So obviously this stuff is sexist as hell. Like, if women have sexual needs, then they're ruining America, but men's sex fantasies can get plastered on the front of a magazine, no problem. But Man's Life also has some real takes on the state of masculinity. Women ruined men, male inadequacies drive women nuts, the American man is no longer a male, says a woman psychologist. And it seems as though the folks at Men's Life lost the good fight. I don't know if it was the animals or the women or the communists that got to them in the end, but they did not achieve their goal of fixing the American male because 60 years later, men still have not figured it out. People in the present days are still very concerned that men like myself aren't acting like real men. Take this example from Twitter. A guy ordering a dessert on a date is a red flag for me. That's a female thing to do, for real. You're not a real man if you order dessert. That's crazy because there's a creme brulee in my past that made me a man. It was so good. I don't know if it's appropriate for me to point out the internalized misogyny of it all, a woman telling a man he shouldn't do something because that's a female thing to do, so I won't. But now you know that I think that. If a guy is on a date with a woman, the woman should be the only one asking for appetizers and dessert. Men eat meals. Like seriously, you can just taste some of whatever I ordered. I would seriously rather you order 2 meals than order an appetizer before your meal. If you're that damn hungry, you look sassy ordering a spinach dip. Appetizers are off the table now too? Half my diet is appetizers and desserts. You're only leaving me with cereal and pizza. I'm gonna go eat some spring rolls after this and you know I'm gonna do it in a sassy manner. I'm willing to bet it's not just appetizers and desserts. There's probably a list of entrees that aren't allowed in this woman's philosophy as well. I'm probably a female in her eyes just for saying the word entree just now. You just know this lady's not gonna let anyone order a linguine or anything with too many soft syllables. I'd love to see what this lady eats since she's so choosy about what everyone else eats. Luckily, the good detectives on Twitter got to work combing through her post history and, folks, it's bad. Who else loves boiled potato and cheese? You know, that old classic. Fellas, no one's gonna call you too feminine if you stick to a diet of boiled potatoes and cheese slices. You can tell that she microwaved it enough to slightly melt the cheese, but not enough to get rid of the crease from the plastic wrapping. Doritos and butter pecan ice cream will always be elite together. No, they will not. They never were. To be fair, I have not tried this combination, but you're not gonna convince me to. Remember, everyone, it's female to order an appetizer, but doing this? Well, this is just dandy. I can't keep track of what's male or female in this person's view, and far be it from me to prescribe someone's gender or orientation based on their food choices, but I don't think that this is a female thing to do because the women in my life all have taste. Now, this person got absolutely roasted on Twitter for this take, but some like-minded women did come to her defense. LOL, this goes in the same box as guys who choose to drink wine and guys who use Snapchat filters, by the way. The list is getting long, everyone. Some people just want to identify as men and enjoy the things that they enjoy, but sadly, that's getting phased out. If the sugar he wants to have after dinner is not your cake queen, that doesn't sit right with me. This generation of men don't know how to be straight. Shake my head. Are straight people okay? I ask because I haven't identified as a straight person in a few years, and I'm not exactly as in touch with heterosexual discourse as I used to be. That's right, ladies, he's not straight unless he's willing to eat ass. Things are getting confusing out here. This is the Wild West of gender expression. What with all the cholera? This generation of men don't know how to be straight. Yeah, apparently. I'm gonna need someone to draw me a map because it seems absolutely joyless. She says it doesn't sit right with her if the cake that he wants after dinner isn't your booty. Let's see what the men of Twitter have to say about that. Eating pussy too submissive for me. It feel gay. This just in, men engaging in sexual activity with a woman is homosexual behavior. Okay, I'm getting disoriented here. It seems as though there are too many rules. When you're a man, some things, such as eating, are female things to do. And some other things, even if they're heterosexual, are gay. It's okay though, because there's a loophole. Remember that no-homo thing that most of us grew out of when we were 13 years old? Well, if you're not sure whether something that you want to do violates the universal and ever-changing rules of manhood, then that's your ticket to actually enjoying something. I'll give you an example of no-homoism in case you're not familiar. I'm straight, but that's incredible. Fellas, you can't just acknowledge the most beautiful scenery that nature can create. That's sus. I know sometimes it's easy to see things that are stimulating and inspiring and react to them, but you gotta keep that shit locked down. Masculinity dictates that you keep a stoic demeanor, but if you absolutely must come in visual contact with a sunset, then make sure to inform everyone that you're straight. It's the only way. New chair. No homo, but it is very comfortable. Okay, that's a good tip too. Guys, you can't be comfortable, okay? Men are meant to sit on logs and concrete and hockey benches and steel beams on the Empire State Building, okay? If you go around sitting in comfortable leather gamer chairs, people are bound to talk. It seems to me that if you run your life with this level of heterosexual paranoia, then it must just dominate every aspect of your life. Hey there, I'm here to see Dr. Pearson. Okay, great. They will be with you in just a moment. Why don't you have a seat and make yourself comfortable? I'm sorry, make myself what? I just mean have a seat in one of the chairs in the waiting room. They're pretty soft. I have a girlfriend. Okay, everyone, I set out to become a better man, and I think we've almost got a list of the rules locked down. No chairs, no sunsets, no ice cream, no wine, no Snapchat filters, no going down on women, but eating ass is mandatory, as is saving a woman in a torn red shirt from wildlife before she attacks me with her pack of insatiable womenfolk, but also do not let them have sex with you lest they ruin your country. God, this list is long. Being a real man is hard. Is there anything else I need to remember? Fellas, let me hear you. Straight men don't recycle because they are worried it looks gay. Researchers found that certain attempts to be more environmentally conscious are often perceived as either masculine or feminine. If being seen as heterosexual is important to a person, they may prioritize gender-conforming behaviors. Oof, okay, no more recycling, Ferda. God, this is exhausting. I wish I could unwind at the end of this with a beverage. Wine is not allowed. I guess beer is still on the table. Probably not saisons, though. What I want to know is, are there any alternatives out there for me, a real man? Gender-neutral cocktails created to protect fragile masculinity of men who won't drink feminine cocktails. London-based bar and restaurant chain Burger & Lobster has created a range of gender-neutral cocktails because apparently men are shunning drinks they perceive to be feminine. According to a survey of over 2,000 people, over half the people polled said that certain drinks shouldn't be drunk by men because they are too feminine in color or have frivolous garnishes. This has led to Burger & Lobster launching a menu of gender-neutral cocktails, which are transparent and nameless, based on the traditional pina colada, mojito, Negroni, margarita, and cosmopolitan. A mojito was already clear. Also, objectively the best cocktail out there, but that's besides the point. You know what else is already clear, hopefully, is the point that I wanted to make with this video, but if not, let me elaborate. All of this hand-wringing and finger-wagging over what is a masculine thing to do or what is female or what is gay is very unnecessary and also harmful. Setting these strange expectations of masculinity is actually a way to reinforce the inequalities of sexism and homophobia. Obviously, using someone's gender or orientation or other form of identity as an insult is a shitty thing to do. This whole paradigm of insulting a man by calling him a woman or insulting straight men by calling them gay, it implies that being a woman or being gay is lesser than being a straight man. I think we generally all get that. I think that anyone who doesn't get that has probably clicked off this video by now. Heterocentrism is a term used to describe how queerness is othered by mainstream discourses. It has been defined as an implicit and sometimes explicit bias against LGBT individuals. This bias is often not intentional, but is rather due to oversights on the part of mainstream society in considering the existence of diverse sexual orientations. Children are exposed to these societal notions at an early age. Thus, upon recognizing a possible LGBT identity within themselves, LGBT individuals may naturally feel ashamed and compelled to hide. So the ideals of heterocentrism are instilled in us really early on. Pretty much from the time that we're born, straightness is assumed and expected of us. And then, as we grow up, that messaging is reinforced. People then absorb that messaging and try to meet those expectations so they don't also become othered. Dr. Judith Butler is one theorist who has done a lot of writing on this topic. She wrote a book in 1990 called Gender Trouble about how gender is a type of social performance. We talked about performativity in one of my other videos, so check that one out if you haven't yet, but basically it's this idea that people act in a way that makes them feel like they're going to be socially validated. And we see that through some of the examples that we looked at today. We see that people are afraid to recycle or have a mojito or do a lot of different things because they think it's going to disrupt their performance of masculinity. And that's what people mean when they talk about fragile masculinity. That phrase doesn't necessarily refer to men themselves being fragile, just that the notion of masculinity is subject to a lot of norms that are really inconsistent and really easy to lose track of. Another term that I use a lot is homohysteria. That's basically a sociological term to describe the no-homo phenomenon. And that's really what we're looking at here, is people policing themselves because they have a very strict yet amorphous view of what straightness is and what masculinity is. And as much as it all may seem silly and pointless, there's a lot of real harm that can come from this policing of people's identities. Internalizing societal attitudes and beliefs may manifest itself within sexual minorities as a threat to self-acceptance or even as self-hate. Individuals who have not disclosed their sexual minority status are more likely to experience internalized homophobia. Such feelings may manifest themselves in anxiety and depression, relationship difficulties, substance abuse, and suicide. Internalized homophobia has been associated with increased relationship problems and depression and reduced HIV knowledge among sexual minorities. Fears or experiences of stigma and disclosure of sexual orientation and/or gender identity to healthcare providers are significant barriers to healthcare utilization for LGBT people. Sexuality and gender identity-based stigma has been widely cited as influential over substance abuse, sexual risk behavior, healthcare utilization, and decreased preventive care, including cancer screenings among LGBT populations. So people's individual mental and physical well-being, as well as public health, can suffer from internalized homophobia, and all of that can come about from these senses of homohysteria and heterocentrism. My take is that you should just do whatever you want to do. Have a mojito, or don't. Have sex with whoever you want to. Do whatever you want with them. Definitely recycle. Just be free. If you're a guy, maybe sometimes you want to be the one getting your red shirt ripped open by the turtles while someone else comes in and saves your ass. There's no such thing as being a real man or being a real woman or whatever. And if those are things that people act like you should preoccupy yourself with, then they're being silly and they can't come to my birthday party. Whether you're a man or a woman or neither, just do or eat or say or wear whatever you want, because it's way better that way. Coming from a person who identifies as queer, when you stop policing yourself and stop worrying about if you're going to come off a certain way and just do what you want to do, you become a much more chill person and you learn a lot more about yourself and you just have a lot more fun. That being said, my experiences aren't universal, and sometimes people do need to closet themselves as a survival tactic, and other people who are exclusively gay or are trans or are women or any combination are going to have different experiences than mine. But I think the sooner we start getting rid of these ridiculous expectations of people, the sooner we can all start living a more honest life and be way better off for it. Hey! Thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked it, let me know what you think in the comments. Hit that like button down there. Go check out my other videos, and if you're feeling a little crazy, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. If you have friends that you think would like my content, I'd love if you could pass it along to them so that we can have more people join the team. Team Mojito, maybe. And if you want to see more of me, then head to my Twitter and Instagram profiles. I'll let you know when new videos come out. I'll link them in the comments so that you can see more of my stuff. Thanks again for being here, everyone. You're the best. And I think you're the best. Take care of yourselves.